42% of Americans said they are worried about high home prices, according to Lending Tree survey. Well, I think it's more like 98%. I know I'm worried, and everybody I talk to is worried about high home prices. So now I'm going to talk about more affordable styles, home styles that you can buy for much less. Maybe you can save even tens of thousands of dollars. And here we are in no particular order. Number one is tiny homes. You probably have heard so much about tiny homes recently, with the ADUs, additional dwelling units, being approved in many states. Now, especially in Massachusetts, we never had that. You can build an ADU on your property. So tiny homes are becoming more and more popular. Now, if you're buying a tiny home, you have to make sure that the land where you're putting the house on, the zoning, the permits, and you can do a well. If there is no utilities, you can do a well, you can do a septic. So all the things are doable, and you can get a good price for the land and the utilities. And then the tiny home price might be very affordable. So here are reasons why it's cheap. Tiny homes are less than 600 square feet. I have seen 400, I have seen 700, but usually they are very, very small. So that means fewer materials. You can have a DIY or prefab options, so you can save even more. It can be built on wheels, so then you don't have to worry about foundation. Now, what are the pros and cons of a tiny home? Super low cost, energy efficient, so you have low utility bills. The negative of the tiny home is very limited space. So if you have 3 people, 4 people living in a tiny home, it's going to feel really, really tight. Families usually don't choose tiny homes. Number 2 is shotgun houses. So they were very popular in the South. They're narrow, like 12 feet, and long. Why? It's cheap. It's narrow, rectangular layout, minimizes roofing and foundation costs. They have no hallways, so you have more usable space, fewer interior walls. It's common in the South and urban areas, maximizing small lots. So what are the pros and cons of shotgun houses? It's ideal for urban settings and tight lots. It's a simple design, fast and affordable to build. The negative is not too much light. So if sometimes they are sharing walls, the shotgun houses, or sometimes, the houses are very close together. Let me know which of these options might work for you. Tiny homes or shotgun homes. Have you ever lived in those? We're going on for more. A-frame cabins. It has a steep triangular roof. That's why it looks like an A shape. The wonderful thing about that type of roof, the snow just goes down, it doesn't accumulate. Prefabricated kits are available. Its energy efficient design helps with heating and cooling. Now, what are the pros and cons? It's great for rural or vacation homes. It gets a lot of light from big windows, and it's durable against the weather, especially in mountainous areas. It works really great. So the con of A-frame cabins is the upper level is really limited because of the sloped ceilings. If you are buying an A-frame house, do your homework about the land, about the utilities, about zoning, about permits. Make sure you do all that. Prefabricated modular homes. Not to be confused with prefabricated non-modular homes. Because when you have a modular home, you can get a loan, zoning and permitting is much easier, everything is much easier. Why it's cheap? It's built in a factory, and that means reduced labor and material costs. Fast construction. So if you're taking a loan that is a construction loan, the construction doesn't take very long, so it helps with the financing. It is expandable. You can start small and add more sections. It's often 10 to 20% more affordable than stick-built houses. It's very energy efficient, but the negative is it has limited customization compared to stick-built homes. If the land that you own is in an HOA, make sure you find out what are the HOA rules, because you don't want to have the house built and delivered to find out that the HOA doesn't allow prefabricated homes. The next one is brandominiums. Why it's cheap? It uses a metal barn structure, which is cheaper than the wood framing. It is an open floor plan, which reduces construction complexity, and it's durable, extremely durable, and low maintenance. It can be customized to be elaborate, beautiful place or kept simple. But the con is it can look industrial depending on how it's designed. Now, one con is the foundation has to be different for a metal barn to be there. Sometimes, they pour the foundation for a regular house and they think it's enough, but it's not. To support a metal barn, the foundation that they're pouring needs to be on a different level. Make sure to find out about home insurance with all those options. So if none of those options work for you because you have a bigger family and you want a stick-built house, you want something that already has the land and everything, but you're wondering what options you have, which house styles are a little less expensive than others, well, I have a list for you as well. Let's start with a Cape Cod house, which is a favorite in Massachusetts and in New England in general. Compact design keeps building costs lower than larger homes. It has a simple rectangular shapes, which makes construction easy and efficient. It has a steep roof that sheds snow well, reducing long-term maintenance, and it can be built in phases. Historically, people expand it as needed. So the pros and cons of a Cape house: strong resale value. It's really cozy. It's very efficient when it comes to climate, great for cold climates, and it retains heat and cooling really well. The negatives: it has sloped ceilings, which limit the upstairs space. Again, not for very tall people. I had a client that was more than 6 feet. I think he was 6'3", and every Cape we entered, he was like, oh, I can't do this. Now, capes can be expensive too, depending on the location, how many upgrades were done, how recently it was renovated. Especially for first-time home buyers, it's a great option. The next one is a ranch-style house. Now, ranch style is all on one level, as you might know. And the good thing about ranch style, it has no stairs. A lot of times it's built on a slab, so there is no basement. In Massachusetts, actually, we do have basements usually, but if it's unfinished basement, but usually the ranch is just one level. So if you are older, you don't want to climb stairs all the time, ranch works perfectly. And I have buyers who, from the beginning, they said, all I'm looking is for a ranch house, nothing else. Single story layout means lower construction costs. Simple rectangular shape means less expensive to build. Pros and cons of a ranch style house: easy to renovate and expand. And I know a lot of people who added a second floor on a ranch style house. It has lower maintenance costs. Now, the negative of a ranch style home: if it doesn't have a basement, it's limited square footage. But let's say it's 1,300 square foot on the same level. It takes more land than, let's say, a 1,300 square foot 2-story house. Another variation of ranch is the raised ranch that has a finished basement. It has 2 levels. The other one is split entry. And why it's cheap? It's because it's compact, efficient use of space, lower construction costs. There is no full basement. Actually, it's partially below grade, lower level. And it has a simple rectangular shape, so it makes it easy to build and maintain. Now, pros and cons of a split entry. There is more space than a 1-story ranch for sure. It often includes a garage on the lower level. It works really well on a sloped land. The negatives is entry can feel kind of awkward because you enter and the entryway is so small, and right away you have to decide if you're going up or down. A lot of people don't like that. But I've seen split entry homes that have a bigger entryway and a little larger. So basically, split entry homes can be more affordable than other homes. Maybe because they're older style. If you want the cheapest option, go for a shotgun house or a tiny house. But if you have a family, larger homes will work better for you. Let me know what you think about this house. Do you think you could live in any of these houses? My name is Nouné. I'm keeping real estate real and giving you all information so you can have a fabulous experience buying or selling real estate. And don't forget, if you're buying or selling in Massachusetts, reach out to me. I'll be very happy to help you. See you in the next video.